Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel for this week's video all about growing a handmade business. My name is Sarah and I own Lather Bath Co., an online bath and body product shop. And if you like content like recipes, tutorials, how-to guides, growth tips for your handmade business, I hope you stick around. Let's get into today's video. So picture it. You're at the beginning of your journey, or you're somewhere in your journey and you're trying to figure out what product you should develop next, but you have so many ideas, you have no idea where to start, and really you just kind of end up feeling like you're treading water because you end up with like one thing from here, one thing from here, one thing from here, and you just can't figure out where to go with it. That's where today's video is coming into play. I'm going to go through absolutely every product that I have developed since the start of my handmade business, whether or not it hit the shelves, and rank them from easiest to hardest. I just thought that this video might be kind of fun, you know? I know that people are usually showing their successes, but I've had just as many failures as successes, and I really think that being honest about it and transparent, might help some people out. For this video, I took into consideration things like the cost that it takes to actually make the product, different levels of product testing, like how much product testing and how many revisions needed to be done on the products before it made shelves or before I kind of scooted it off to the side, the complexity of ingredients. Oh, there's my dog. Oh, fancy that. Usually we have one of my kids running around in the background, but today it's the dog. Drying times, packaging, just kind of all encompassing from product conception to actually like hitting the shelves. Let's do it. Okay, so in my opinion, the easiest product that I have developed to date has been my line of bath soaks. I really enjoy making bath soaks because they are relatively easy. Bath soaks are something that my kids can help me with. They, again, are pretty easy to kind of change ingredients on. Once you have like a base that you like, it's relatively easy to come up with new fragrances or new sets of it. Another great thing I love about bath soaks is that the ingredients that you need to make that are generally readily available in local stores like Target, Walmart, wherever you do kind of like your shopping. So it's very, very easy to find everything that you need to make at minimum like a basic bath soak. I do have this recent video that I posted here all about bath soaks, my do's and my don'ts, if you will. Definitely check that out. But yeah, as far as products go, this is hands down the absolute easiest one that I have developed so far. Am I counting down to like the number one hardest, or am I counting up? I guess I should have figured that out. I guess we're counting down. So that was number 9 as the easiest. In the second easiest spot, we have melt and pour soaps. I have talked at length about melt and pour soaps. I love melt and pour soaps. I think that they are awesome, especially if you're not interested in mixing lye, which we've covered a million times over on this channel. But really, truly, melt and pour soaps are such a great way to add soap into your line without all of the complexities of a cold process or hot process soap. You can generally find bases for this that are already made at Michael's. You can order a lot of products on Amazon and have them, next day with Amazon Prime. They're another ingredient that's pretty easy to work with. It can be a little bit tricky at times, like they're a little bit temperamental, but not bad. It's easy. If you mess something up, it's really easy to just kind of like remelt it and make it anew. It just honestly is super easy to work with, and I'm very glad that I started with melt and pour soaps. In third place, I personally have enjoyed this product, and it is by far my family's favorite product to get from me. That is whipped sugar soap scrubs. So these are exfoliating scrubs that have a whipped soap consistency. Moving forward from here to the end of the list, this is kind of where the complexity of ingredients comes into play, because you do have to mix quite a few things. You do have to special order some products like preservatives, but overall, it's a very easy product. Once you get the hang of making it and once you test it out a few times, it really is simple to do. You have so many different options, colors, fragrances, the packaging, you have a lot of options there, which can get overwhelming at times. You know, how much should I offer of this? Should it be 8 ounce? Should it be 4 ounce? Are we travel size? Like, what exactly are we doing? Are we a soap? Are we a sugar scrub? It's really all encompassing. So it's a really great product to have. I enjoy it, and it's definitely a category that I will be building up in the next couple of weeks. I just ordered a huge tub of the base that you need for it. So I'm pretty excited to get back into the making of that. And the product really is nice. You know, some people really prefer a soap bar that's hard, while others prefer one that's soft, or, you know, there are a lot of variants in preference when it comes to things like soaps or bath bombs. But with sugar scrubs, you know, if you like that foamy consistency, then you're generally, at least in my opinion, going to enjoy this formula. Maybe once that big tub gets here, I'll make like a fun, like, work with me vlog about the sugar scrubs. I think that would be fun. I think that'd be really nice. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Stay tuned for that. Okay, as you can tell, the sun is going down, so my lighting is just getting yikes. But I had this great idea and this inspiration for the video, so I didn't want to like not do it. So anyway, next up we have emulsified sugar scrubs. So these are the sugar scrubs that you might more traditionally see on shelves at like big box stores like Target or Walmart or wherever it is that you buy your Bath and Body products. In my opinion, it's because they are a little bit more shelf stable, meaning your foaming sugar scrub or the whipped sugar scrub that I just described previous to this can melt over time if they sit for a long time, whereas like an emulsified sugar scrub would not do that. Now, there is far more complexities between ingredients here and the whipped sugar scrub. It's just kind of one of those things, you know, which one do you prefer? For a minute, I had offered like some of both on my website just to kind of see which was gonna do better for me. But in the end, I decided that whipped sugar scrub is gonna be my thing. So I no longer offer them. But I am glad that I was able to test it out and really, you know, give it a shot and see where we landed with it. Some of the products that I'll talk about, I really kind of feel like were a waste of money, material, time, ingredients, all that kind of stuff. But the emulsified sugar scrub, I don't feel that way. It actually really helped me to figure out like which one was a better direction for me to go in. And I ended up choosing the foaming, or the base is called foaming, but I call it whipped. So in the end, I ended up choosing the whipped sugar scrub. And again, you might try out both and feel like, you know what, I really don't like this foaming recipe at all. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know? You might be better off in the summer when mine's shipping across the United States and mine melts and yours is totally fine. So again, do what you think is best for your business and what you think is best for your customer. Ooh, okay, here starts the really complex products that are just more of like a point of frustration, I think would be a good way to describe it. Not so much this one, but after this one, they just get really frustrating for me. So next up would be bath bombs. Bath bombs are up towards the more difficult end of my list because of how finicky they are. If you change like one tiny little element from the humidity in the air to the drop of your dropper, you can ruin an entire batch of bath bombs. But when everything like aligns perfectly, you're left with like the most gorgeous product ever. It's so weird to describe it like that, but it's very, very true. You know, the water that you have in the air really makes a big difference here. So when developing bath bombs, that's really important to keep in mind. As far as ingredients go, there are several complex ingredients in here, but that again depends on the recipe that you use. I started with one recipe that was relatively simple. It was actually really simple, come to think of it. But I didn't like the look of them over time. So when I went through and was kind of refining my products and my recipes, I went with a different recipe, and I much prefer that. Now for like my new and improved recipe, I do have to special order quite a few products like white kaolin clay. What else? Apricot kernel oil. There are a couple of like special ingredients that I have to order and then therefore wait for them to arrive, the SLSA, just, you know, a couple things like that. So as long as you're an organized person, that's not a problem. But for me, it has proven to be a little bit difficult because at times I can be rather forgetful. These next couple are the actual bane of my existence, and they are wax melts and jar candles. So I actually have wax melts like as easier than jar candles. Unfortunately, my naivety, or how ridiculous my thought process is, I actually thought it was going to be very simple to make wax melts and candles. I thought that it was just going to be something that I tested out once and everything was perfect, and wow, could that not be farther from the truth. There are so many things I had no idea about. That's why research is so important. And it's my dog again. That's why I talk about it so often, because really it can be quite costly to make a lot of these mistakes. And had I just done like basic research from the beginning, I wouldn't be in that position of having all of these ingredients and them just kind of, you know, sitting and taking up space, honestly. So candles, they're a great product. I do hope to have them one day, and wax melts also. It just hasn't worked out for me. I haven't found, I still tinker with them, but it's just not something that I found that I can like successfully complete at this time. Next up is, of course, the cold process soap with a pre-made base. So this is what I mean by that. I have tried cold process soap quite a few times, and it always ends up not good. Okay, we'll just call it what it is. It just has not at all worked out for me, and I think I've made about like 10 like loaves at this point, and they've all failed pretty miserably. So anyway, I got the Lots of Lather Quick Mix from Brambleberry, which I will link for you down below. And that has been those loaves that I've made with that quick mix have been honestly the only ones that have even turned out considerably close to something that I would offer on my website. Without the pre-made base, I haven't given up forever. And I know that things take time and practice, of course, but just from the standpoint of having a product, making it, and being able to sell it, the cold process soap is just, whether you have a base or not, it's just not where I'm at in my journey right now. So of course, you know, you have to make the actual soap. You have to let it rest for 28 days before you can sell it. I know there will get to be a point where I can do that and be fine with it, but for right now I can't, like, I'm not in a spot to do that. I'm not in a spot to make a soap this weekend and wait 4 weeks to sell it. I'm not in that. Maybe it's a mindset thing, I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm just not there yet. So I haven't been successful in that, and have kind of left it to the side for now until I'm still testing it. Like I said, I made one last weekend, and it's the closest that I've come to something that I would actually put my name on to sell. So I am still working on it, but for now I'm definitely just sticking with melt and pour soap. And finally is cold process soap with the individual ingredients instead of using a pre-made base. First of all, this has been the absolute hardest for me. Number one, you have to special order all of your ingredients. Number two, there are just too many things that can go wrong. Like, really, it is not at all working for me. Again, the wait time to having to sell. I do think that the packaging aspect of it is a little bit easier to figure out from my perspective. Process soap product testing without a pre-made base isn't even something that I'm doing right now. I am testing with pre-made bases, but I am not doing like a total from scratch. That rounds out my list from easiest to hardest products to create for my handmade business. Hopefully you found some value in it. I know I just kind of thought it would be a really cool video idea to kind of just get on and really chat about it. Normally I have more of like a script when I do like these sort of videos, but I didn't have one today. I just thought, you know, it'd be cool to chat about and really just get like my instant reaction on things. I pre-made the list, but that was really it. So all of my talking points came from the heart and my wonderful memory. Definitely hit that subscribe button and stick around on my channel, because all of these failed products that I talked about in today's video, I have a video planned to like show them to you, and it's still in development now. I'm not exactly sure, you know, I want to make sure like that there's value to it. I just haven't figured out where that value is going to come from yet. So stay tuned for that, and don't forget you can always follow me on Instagram at LatherBathCo, and I will see you next week. Bye.